Hi, I'm Mike from 1A Auto. We've been selling auto parts for over 30 years.
What's up guys, I'm Andy from 1A Auto. In this video, I'm going to be removing and reinstalling a turn signal switch in this 2008 Chevy Silverado work truck. If you need parts for your vehicle, click the link in the description and head over to 1aauto.com. All right, I'm going to disconnect the battery. This vehicle, there is a bracket missing here. Normally there would be a bracket here with four 13mm bolts. You would take those out to access the negative battery cable. I'm just going to use a 10mm wrench, loosen up the cable. You can probably do it without taking that bracket off, but just make it easier to take the bracket off. Loosen this up and wiggle it back and forth and set it aside. To remove the airbag, there's these little holes on the side of the steering wheel. We're going to use a little Allen. This is a 2.5mm Allen. Just going to slide it into the hole. You're going to have to feel around a little bit. There's a little bar you have to push, and if you push on the airbag a little bit while you're pushing in the hole, you might be able to feel it move around. And then we're going to release the airbag, push that, and then you're going to grab the airbag and pull it out just a little bit. See how it's up a little? Then we're going to do the same with the other side. All right, pull the airbag out. You can see in here where the Allen goes in and then pushes on this little clip spring, and that releases that little retainer on the airbag. All right, on the back side of the airbag, you're going to need a little pick or a small screwdriver. There's a little lock right here. You're going to pull this lock up just like that, and then there's little tabs right here, and then one on the other side. Sometimes it's not too easy, and then just pull that connector out. Same with this side. Pull this little lock up, just like that. And slide the connector out and grab the airbag. When you put the airbag down, you want to place the airbag like this on a bench or somewhere. You never want to place the airbag like this, because if it were to ever explode, it would go flying up. All right, next I'm going to disconnect this connector right here. I'm just going to use a small pick tool, a little clip right on top, and then just slide the connector out. Clip was right on there. I'm going to take a 21mm socket extension and a ratchet. I'm going to take this bolt, loosen it up. You can also use a 13/16. Break that free. Now before I take the nut all the way off, I am going to grab the steering wheel, just rock it back and forth, loosen it up, and when you pull it up, the nut will prevent it from hitting you in the face. You could also use a steering wheel puller, but we didn't need to. We just rocked it back and forth. Pull this nut off. We can slide the steering wheel right out. Right, next we're going to remove this side cover right here. Just grab underneath, pull it off. There's some clips that hold it on. Next we're going to just grab this panel, pull it straight forward. There's some clips that hold it on. Next we'll pull this steering wheel column adjuster off. Just grab it with two hands, slide it out towards the outside of the vehicle. Then I'm going to grab this steering wheel column cover. Sometimes there is some bolts that screw into the bottom of it. This one doesn't have any bolts, so I'm just going to grab it and pull it straight down. Sometimes grab it from the back side. Slide it right down. Next we're going to take the top cover off. Just grab it, pull it up, just like that. All right, there's a lot of dust on this, so I'm just going to wipe this off with a rag. Next I want to prevent this from spinning. This is the clock spring, the airbag clock spring. And I just want to put a piece of tape in here, tape across here. That way it won't spin when I take it off. Just move this down a little bit. Next, I'm going to use some snap ring pliers. I'm going to take this snap ring out right here. Just squeeze. And the snap ring pliers are in there, and then you squeeze to take the snap ring out. Slide the snap ring out. You can take this clock spring, slide it up a little bit. Then I'm going to disconnect the electrical connectors on the bottom. Just take a little pick. There's a little tab right there. Take that connector off. So underneath the dash, there's an electrical connector right here. Just going to disconnect. There's a little lock right there. Pull that off. And there's a little button here. Disconnect that. I'm going to use a trim tool. We actually sell this trim tool at oneaauto.com. Just slide in here, remove the retainer that holds the wire. Just go back and forth. Slide that out. Just fish the wire up here. Now there is going to be some wire ties holding it on, so we're going to have to cut those off and just use some small cutters. We'll just put new wire ties on after. Be careful not to cut the wires. There's a little retainer right here. Slide that out of there, and then right here. Slide that off, then you can pull the whole clock spring off. Next, I'm going to take this Torx screw out. I'm going to use a T25 and a ratchet. Take that out. There's another screw. You can angle this down a little bit. Just use the same T25. Take this screw out. Next, I can grab this whole multifunction switch, slide it out. Just disconnect the electrical connectors here and just use a small pick. Just get underneath here. Oops. Be careful not to break this. Slide the connector out there. Slide this one out. And then this last one. Just like that. Now we're going to take this turn signal switch. We'll connect the connectors right here. This one goes there. This gray one goes on the outside here. This white one goes right here. Line it up, lock it in place. And we'll take, now this is a little bit tricky. You need to line up underneath here. There's a groove right here. That's going to go in first, and then it'll slide into place. Then we'll take our screws, get this one started here, and get this one started in the front. Might have to wiggle it to get everything to line up right. And be careful not to strip the screws. There we go. All right, so I'm going to tighten the top one first. Just use a ratchet and a T25. We'll do the same with this one. Snug it up. Now we'll take the clock spring, get this lined up over here. Before I push it down any further, I'm just gonna connect the connector underneath. Lock that in place. Make sure this goes on properly. Slide that up. And I'm gonna run this wire. This is gonna go the way it came out. Go down here. The wire's going to go through here. Just slide this through here for now. And underneath here, it's going to go behind this wire. We have this retainer that goes in this spot, right there. Push that through, just like that. And connect this connector. Push that through. We'll take this lock, send the lock through the back side of the connector. Just like that. Now I'm going to take a cable tie, just slide it through here. Make sure the wires aren't rubbing up against anything. And secure this in this location here. Just like that. There's another cable tie that goes down in here. And secure it right there. I'm just going to take some cutters, cut the excess, like that, and right like that. Next we'll take this snap ring, slide this down in position using snap ring pliers. You just want to push it so it locks in place. And that looks good. All right, next we're going to take the covers. This upper column cover, just line up the shifter boot. There we go. And lock it down. Take the lower column cover, line that up. And push it together with the upper cover. That's good. Before I put these covers on, I actually already took the tape off of the clock spring because the clock spring is safe now. It's not going to turn. It's keyed to the shaft, so it's okay to take that tape off at that point. Right, now we're going to install this cover. Just line it up. Lock it in place. And next we're going to install this screw. This Phillips head screwdriver. And if your vehicle had another one, you're going to install it over here as well. But this vehicle doesn't have it. Snug that up. Next we'll install this parking brake cable release. Just slide that over there. And then take the 10mm bolt. Get this started right here. Now we'll install this side cover. Just line those clips up. Lock it in place. Take this steering column adjuster handle and just push it on. And take the steering wheel. We're going to feed these wires through here. Through, line the steering wheel up. There is an arrow on the steering wheel, a little mark on the column. And we'll take the connector, connect the steering wheel connector. That's just for the horn. And then take this nut, get this started. Take my 21mm socket, extension and ratchet, tighten this down. Now we're going to use a torque wrench, and I'm going to torque this nut to 30 foot-pounds. Make sure you hold the steering wheel while you do this. And that's good. Now we're going to connect the airbag. Let's just connect these connectors. Connect the pink one right here to the pink, and then push the lock down. Do the same with the white one. Connect it. Push the lock down. We can take the airbag, make sure the wires are out of the way, line it up and just push it down. Now I'm going to grab the negative battery cable, slide this over the terminal on the battery, and then take a 10mm wrench and just snug this up. Not too tight, you don't want to break it. Just make sure you grab the terminal, grab the cable, and make sure it doesn't twist. That's good. And then if you had that bracket here, you're going to want to reinstall that bracket.
Thanks for watching. Visit us at oneauto.com for quality auto parts, fast and free shipping, and the best customer service in the industry.